The family's financial position requires immediate strategic intervention, Dad announced with the gravity he reserved for presenting complex investment strategies to wealthy clients. Our quarterly portfolio review has revealed some concerning trends that need to be addressed through coordinated family financial planning. My brother Marcus, perfectly groomed in his Armani suit, nodded approvingly while consulting his tablet displaying real-time market data. The volatility in our growth investments requires more sophisticated risk management strategies than we've been implementing. Exactly, my sister Caroline chimed in, adjusting her Hermès scarf as she reviewed detailed financial projections. We need to optimize our asset allocation and implement more aggressive wealth accumulation strategies across all family investment vehicles. The conversation swirled around complex financial terminology and investment strategies while I remained silent, knowing that any attempt to contribute would be dismissed as amateur commentary from someone they considered financially naive. What none of them knew was that my modest lifestyle and simple career choice were carefully maintained to conceal something much more substantial and professionally complex. The most concerning issue, Dad continued, pulling out several official documents and spreading them across the conference table with prosecutorial precision, is the lack of financial maturity and investment sophistication among certain family members who should be contributing to our collective wealth-building efforts. The pointed comment was clearly directed at me, and I could feel the weight of their collective judgment as they prepared to deliver what I recognized as a coordinated intervention about my career choices and financial priorities. Freelance blogging about personal finance, Marcus said with barely concealed condescension, isn't exactly what we'd call serious wealth management work. How much do those little articles actually generate? Maybe $30,000 annually if you're fortunate. Probably less, Caroline added with a dismissive laugh. Real financial success requires understanding institutional investment strategies, complex portfolio theory, and sophisticated risk management protocols. Dad leaned forward with the expression he used when delivering investment advice to clients he considered financially unsophisticated. Sophia, it's time for some honest family discussion about your financial future and your responsibility to contribute meaningfully to our family's wealth accumulation strategies. The words hung in the air like expensive cologne, overwhelming and inescapable. I continued reviewing my phone while they outlined their comprehensive assessment of my financial failures and lack of serious career ambition in the investment management industry. The family trust distributions that have been supplementing your minimal income cannot continue indefinitely without some demonstration of financial growth and professional development, Dad declared with the authority he used for board presentations. Act like an adult with money, he demanded, his voice rising with passionate conviction about financial responsibility and professional achievement. Stop treating investments like a hobby and start building real wealth through serious financial planning and sophisticated market strategies. At that exact moment, my phone rang with a call from BlackRock's Institutional Client Services division. Perfect timing for what I knew would be a routine quarterly business discussion about major portfolio restructuring decisions. "Excuse me," I said calmly, answering the phone while maintaining direct eye contact with my increasingly agitated family. "This is Sophia Thompson." "Miss Thompson, this is Jennifer Walsh from BlackRock Institutional. We're conducting our quarterly review of the Thompson Family Trust portfolio, and we need your approval for the proposed restructuring of the $89 million asset allocation strategy." I listened to the update while watching my family's expressions transform from confidence to confusion as they heard the massive dollar amount mentioned in my business call. "I see," I said into the phone. "And this restructuring requires my personal authorization as the trust administrator?" "Yes, ma'am. All major portfolio decisions require your direct approval given your fiduciary authority over the family trust assets." I looked directly at Dad's increasingly puzzled face and smiled. His authority dissolved like sugar in rain. "Hold on," Dad interrupted, his voice cracking with confusion and growing alarm. "Why is BlackRock calling you about our family trust? There must be some kind of administrative error." Before I could respond, the boardroom door opened and a distinguished woman in an expensive business suit entered, carrying a premium leather briefcase and wearing the serious expression reserved for delivering major financial news. "Miss Thompson? I'm Catherine Morrison from Morrison & Associates Trust Management. I apologize for interrupting your family meeting, but we have some urgent documentation regarding the Thompson family trust restructuring that requires your immediate signature and approval." My family looked bewildered as Catherine approached my side of the conference table rather than addressing Dad, who clearly expected to be the focus of any serious trust management discussion. "I'm sorry," Dad said, standing with the authority he was accustomed to wielding in financial and legal situations, "but I am the primary trustee and financial administrator for this family. If there are trust documents requiring signature, they should be brought to me." Catherine looked genuinely surprised as she consulted her comprehensive documentation. "Mr. Thompson, I believe there's been a significant misunderstanding about your family's trust structure. Sophia has been the primary trustee and investment administrator for the Thompson Family Trust since her 26th birthday." The silence that followed was so complete I could hear the air conditioning system and the distant sounds of trading floor activity from the financial district below. "That's completely impossible," Marcus said weakly, though his voice lacked its usual MBA-trained confidence. "Sophia doesn't have the financial credentials or professional expertise for institutional trust management." Catherine opened her briefcase and pulled out several official documents bound in blue legal covers. "Actually, Ms. Thompson completed her Chartered Financial Analyst certification and Advanced Trust Administration credentials through the CFA Institute. She's been managing your family's comprehensive investment portfolio extraordinarily successfully for the past 2 years." Dad's face had gone completely pale as he processed this bombshell information. "What comprehensive investment portfolio?" "The Thompson Family Trust established by your father in 1988, Catherine explained, consulting her documents with professional precision. "Current managed assets total approximately $89.7 million. Including diversified equity holdings, fixed income securities, alternative investments, real estate portfolios, and liquid cash management across multiple institutional platforms." I watched my family's expressions transform from confusion to dawning horror as the massive numbers began to penetrate their shock. "The trust distributions you've been discussing?" I said quietly. "They come from investment returns on the portfolio I manage." "This is absolutely ridiculous," Caroline snapped, but her voice cracked with uncertainty. "We would have been informed about something this monumentally important to our family's financial security." Catherine pulled out a certified copy of the original trust documentation. The trust was specifically structured to transfer complete investment authority to the youngest child upon demonstrating appropriate financial expertise, with the expectation that they would continue supporting family members while growing the portfolio for future generations. Dad grabbed the document with shaking hands, his decades of financial expertise allowing him to quickly understand the legal language that confirmed his worst nightmare. "This says Sophia Thompson has absolute discretionary authority over all family trust investments and distributions." "For the past 2 years," I confirmed. "I've been managing your equity portfolios, optimizing your asset allocation strategies, and generating the investment returns that fund your lifestyle while you assumed I was financially unsophisticated." My phone rang again, this time from Vanguard's Institutional Services Division. "Excuse me," I said, answering while my family listened in growing panic. "Ms. Thompson, this is Michael Torres from Vanguard Institutional. We need to discuss the family trust's international diversification strategy. Should we proceed with the European equity allocation you requested?" "Actually," I said, maintaining eye contact with my family's horrified faces, "let's put all major investment decisions on hold pending a comprehensive family relationship assessment." "Understood. All portfolio modifications are now frozen pending your review." I hung up and looked at my family's stricken expressions. That was Vanguard confirming that your investment portfolio decisions are now under review. Catherine consulted her tablet and began reading details that shattered their remaining illusions. "The trust has generated an average annual return of 24% under Sophia's management, significantly outperforming market benchmarks and exceeding institutional expectations." The performance numbers echoed through the boardroom like financial thunderclaps. "This is absolutely insane," Dad exploded, though his voice shook with desperation rather than authority. "Even if this documentation is somehow legitimate, I've been managing investments for 30 years. I built this family's wealth through my own professional expertise and client relationships." "You built a successful advisory practice," I acknowledged. But the family wealth, the trust assets, and the financial security you've been enjoying come from investment management that I've been providing while you lectured me about financial immaturity. Catherine pulled out a comprehensive performance analysis. Mr. Thompson's advisory business generates approximately $480,000 annually, while the family's lifestyle and business expenses total $720,000. The difference has been provided through trust investment returns that Sophia generates. Marcus was frantically checking his phone, probably discovering that his investment accounts showed authorization holds. Sophia, this is impossible. My portfolio management, my trading strategies, my investment research. Your investment capital comes from trust distributions that I approve, I informed him. Your sophisticated trading strategies are funded by returns I generate from institutional portfolio management. But I completed my MBA in finance, he protested desperately. I understand complex investment theories and risk management protocols. Catherine consulted another document. Marcus's individual investment account is actually a managed subaccount of the main trust. Sophia has been providing the capital and oversight for all family investment activities. My phone buzzed with a call from Goldman Sachs Private Wealth Management. Ms. Thompson, this is Patricia Chen from Goldman Sachs. We're showing some concerns about the family trust's hedge fund allocations. Should we proceed with the alternative investment strategy you proposed? I put the call on speaker so my family could hear. What's the total allocation we're discussing? Approximately $23 million in alternative investments, including private equity, hedge funds, and real estate investment trusts. Caroline looked like she was going to faint. $23 million in alternative investments? That's just one segment of the diversified portfolio, I explained. The equity holdings, fixed income securities, and international investments represent additional allocations across multiple asset classes. Another call came in from the family's private banking division. Ms. Thompson, this is Robert Kim from First National Private Banking. The trust's quarterly distribution schedule needs your approval. Should we proceed with the standard family allowances? Actually, I said, looking at their terrified expressions, let's reassess all distribution schedules pending a comprehensive family dynamic review. Certainly. All family distributions are now suspended pending your authorization. Dad was making frantic phone calls to his business partners and financial contacts, his voice becoming more desperate with each conversation. I could hear fragments: trust authority, Sophia's control, investment management. The family that told me to act like an adult with money, I observed, watching their growing panic, just discovered that I've been acting like the adult managing all their money for 2 years. Caroline started crying, her perfect makeup beginning to run. Sophia, we didn't understand your actual position. We thought you were just writing amateur financial blog posts. I do write financial content, I confirmed, for institutional investment publications and hedge fund newsletters. My articles on alternative investment strategies are read by portfolio managers at major firms. I looked around the boardroom at my family members, each one now understanding that their financial security and professional success depended entirely on someone they had just spent an hour lecturing about financial immaturity. The awards on Dad's walls and the impressive city view seemed to mock their assumptions about expertise and authority. Here's what's going to happen going forward, I announced, my voice remaining calm and professional despite the emotional chaos surrounding me. The trust will continue generating returns under my management, but with modified family distribution terms. Dad, your monthly allowance becomes $15,000 with documented expense reporting. Marcus and Caroline, you'll each receive $10,000 contingent on demonstrating actual investment knowledge through quarterly examinations. Investment examinations? Marcus sputtered. You're treating us like students. You are students, I replied. Students who need to learn basic portfolio theory before receiving trust distributions funded by sophisticated institutional investment strategies. Catherine handed me revised trust administration agreements. I'll also be implementing mandatory financial education requirements and quarterly family investment seminars led by Sophia. You're micromanaging our financial lives, Caroline protested weakly. I'm providing financial education, I corrected. The same education you insisted I needed about acting like an adult with money. What about my advisory business? My client relationships will continue as long as you demonstrate respect for actual investment expertise and stop lecturing your portfolio manager about financial sophistication, I informed Dad. Catherine prepared the final documentation. These new terms take effect immediately. All family members will need to pass basic investment competency tests to maintain their distribution eligibility. As my family reluctantly signed their new trust agreements, I stood to address them one final time. The financial blogging work you've been dismissing? It's expanding into a $20 million institutional investment education foundation, which means significantly less money available for family lifestyle maintenance. The number hit them like a financial meteor. Money they had considered automatic inheritance was being redirected to the educational work they had mocked. The family that said grow up financially, I concluded, just discovered that I grew their money instead. Every investment return, every portfolio gain, every dollar of wealth accumulation, all generated through investment management they didn't even know existed.